Hello there. This is part 4 of my mini-series on how I get winterize or get my tractor ready for winter. The Kubota BX25 sitting at the back of the tractor. What I'm planning on doing today is installing the 3-point hitch. I removed the backhoe in my last part. Part 1 was installing the tire chains. Part 2 of my mini-series was I took off the fuel filter and made sure there was no water in the fuel line so it wasn't going to freeze in the winter. Part 3, as I said, was removing the backhoe. Part 4 today will be installing the 3-point hitch, and I was going to plan and combine this with installing the box grader, but I think it was suggested to me by a friend that I actually make that a separate one as well, just to keep it short, and that's fine by me. It makes it easier for editing the videos. So the first thing that I've done is I've laid out on the ground here the 3-point hitch, 2 main parts, the main part, and then there's the center link right here. And it's not really difficult, as providing you lay it out correctly the first time. There's a pin or a rod here with 2 bushings. I'll show you those bushings. The 2 arms that will attach onto that, which go in holes on the frame here. The top arms will attach up here. These can raise and lower. That's what actually can raise and lower your implements off the ground. Right here, and the center link connects up here as well, all with linch pins. I'll show you that all in a second. Same thing with laying out the 3-point hitch the first time. It's very straightforward. There's these, they call it a chain assembly here, but you'll notice on these arms here there are these tabs coming in where these adjustments attach. They go on the inside, they both go on the inside. If you remember that, and there's an adjustment arm that allows you to adjust the height here so that you can angle implements. That goes on the right hand side. It's the biggest thing to remember, laying it out that way. This rod or this pin goes through both of these, and there are holes in the frame on either side where that'll go. But these bushings, there's 2 of them, will go on here. You'll notice that the bushings have a flat spot on the top here. Just one flat spot in each one. They actually, there's a flat spot in here that they'll fit into, and they'll lock them in place, and they'll limit how far the rod or the pin can go. That's the first thing to do, installing. And the flat spots go up to the top. And that limits the movement of these and lock them in place. Next is this assembly here, the wide part on the bottom. It fits over this bar and helps to keep the arms spread apart. There's a hole right here in this assembly, and it's for this little pin here, which has a snap ring or snap pin or hairpin or cotter pin in it. And one of the mistakes many people try to put it in from this side. It actually comes up from the bottom, and this thicker part, it just goes against the bar inside there and prevents that from falling out. Next is to attach these arms to here with linch pins. Center linkage or top linkage using this large simply mounts up here. With the linch pin holding that in place. And this part here will go on here will go on the implement, in my case the box grader. This can be made longer or shorter. In larger tractors you can actually have a hydraulic adjustment for this to adjust things like the box grader or the pitch or whatever. Mine is only manually where you can turn this. And that's basically it. Just repeating, keeping that rod in place, laying out the box at the 3-point hitch on the ground, making sure these pins with the adjustments, these adjustments actually, if you tighten them up, or you can spread these and keep these at a certain height or a certain width, it'll actually adjust to the width of whatever implement you're having, but it'll also help keep the swaying action off the implement. I keep it a little bit loose on purpose. It allows my box grader to be able to adjust simply by moving it back and forth. It doesn't swing that much. This adjusts the height of this arm. You can tighten or lower it by turning it with a wrench. That can raise and lower it, so if something like a box grader, if you wanted to dig in one side to make like a little bit of a trench, or whatever implement or something, you can adjust that, or you can pull it in a little bit to make it tilt a little more, just slightly. And this is just to hold the top in place, so when you're dragging it, it doesn't curl over.